Okay, I think we are ready. Simon, are you going to take over?
Yes, yes. Hello, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome to our webinar, our pre-arrival webinar. My name is Simon Schachner. I am the coordinator of community building for VIU International. Thank you so much for joining us. We're on the Nanaimo campus, which is located in Nanaimo, BC, which is the traditional territory of the Nanaimo First People. So today's webinar is going to cover the topics as you're all aware. It's all to help you get prepared for your journey here to VIU. So there'll be some information on immigration, on budgeting, and on housing. So a couple of things. I think you heard Enrique before, though, but here it is for you to see. The session will be recorded, so please avoid sharing personal details in any of the chat functions or Q&A function. For asking questions, we request you use the Q&A function, which should be at the top. It's the top bar of the screen. Put your question in there, and we'll have somebody type a response. We're going to have polls throughout the session, so please fill those out and make sure you press submit. And of course, we want this to be casual, relaxed kind of sessions, so we invite you to just kind of spend some time with us, ask questions, and hopefully you'll get some information that'll help you feel more prepared and relaxed about your journey coming up. And I will introduce the team. Maybe we'll go to the next slide. Thank you. Oh, first we'll do the poll question, find out where everybody's coming from. I see we have 77 viewers. So first poll question, over to you, Mike, and then we'll introduce the team. So you just type in your response, press submit. So we see so far there are folks in Dubai, UAE, Germany, Canada, Bhutan, India.
Nigeria, the United States. So India.
I saw Nepal.
That's Nepal, yeah. That's amazing. Germany. Iran. India. Ghana. Nigeria. China.
Mike, can we see the polls results in the screen or not?
I think it should come once we close this, I think. Kazakhstan.
Oh, okay.
Uganda. India. China. Bangladesh, amazing.
Yeah, great to see so many countries
Saudi
represented.
Arabia, half of the world, isn't it? Zimbabwe. Amazing. Once we close this poll, does it show all countries, Mike?
Poll is closed. We got 40 responses. So thank you for sharing. So 40 out of 80. We have a good idea where these people are coming from.
All right. Can you guys see that?
Nope.
Oh.
Yeah, I can see just in the chat.
I can see.
Not
Oh, just in chat. Okay, Q&A, but the poll thing isn't working.
Yeah, it's okay. I think we saw them come in. We were announcing certainly a wide range of countries represented in our incoming students, and that's amazing. Thanks so much for joining us, because we realize you're in many different time zones, and this may not be the most convenient time. So thank you, and welcome everybody to this online session. All right.
There is another poll question, and for that one, Mike, if we cannot share the results, maybe you can tell us at the end what the results were for the next one.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know when you're ready for that.
I saw there was a hand up.
Right now.
Yeah, go ahead, everybody. If you can just tell us your level of studies, that would be great. There will be a poll opening, and then you can select which one you belong to.
Okay, so either you are an undergraduate student, so a bachelor program, a certificate, or you're a graduate, being a master's program. And just in case there are any parents who are not students, but parents of incoming students, you have that option. And of course, our ESL, English as a second language.
Okay, so this one we can see. So you don't have to type it in the chat. You just have to answer the poll, and that will be fine. So we have 22 responses. I don't know if anybody else is going to answer the poll, because we have 80 participants, or more than 80, right?
Yeah, there's still people responding, I think.
Yeah. So we still have only a 22. It's been stuck in 22 for a while. I mean, that's all I see. I don't know if you guys see a different. I only see 22 responses.
Okay, so I'll close that one.
Okay. Thank you, Mike.
There you go. Pretty even split between undergraduate and graduate. A little bit of ESL.
Yeah, thank you. That's good to know. So are we going to introduce ourselves, Simon, or?
Yeah, I think we should introduce ourselves.
Okay, so Michael.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. I'm Michael. I'm VIU's off-campus housing coordinator, hopefully helping you with rental housing inquiries and basic questions about on-campus residence as well. I'll be speaking to you shortly.
Mac?
Good morning, everybody, or good evening, good afternoon. My name is Makbuba Erkeshiva. I am your immigration advisor. So I was planning to say academic and immigration advisor, but no, I'm immigration advisor. If you have any questions while you're outside of Canada or inside Canada, anything about visa study permits or passports, you can always contact me and ask questions. Thank you. I'll pass on the torch to Leah probably. Leah, thank you.
Thank you, Mac. Hi, I'm Leah Pond. I'm an academic advisor at VIU, so I'm going to be here today on the chat, answering your questions as best I can. And you can come visit us in Building 200 anytime you have any questions about academic advising. Over to you, Enrique.
Thank you, Leah. My name is Enrique Chacon. I'm also an academic advisor, also in Building 200. And you can reach out to us even now. You can set up appointments through Experience Hub if you need help on one-on-one. The format for today's presentation is basically we're gonna give you information up front, and afterwards we're gonna give some space for questions and answers. But during the presentation, you can type if you have any questions that have not been answered already by the presenter. You are welcome to type them in the Q&A. Do not put them in the chat, because it's much easier if we follow up on the Q&A than if we do on the chat. And that's what we, Lee and I, will be doing in the background as well. I think we're ready for the next one. And Simon is back. So I don't know if you want to take over now. You are muted.
Okay, sorry about that. My screen just closed on its own accord. Okay, so here we are. So number 2 of the pre-arrival sessions. That's the title. Enrique, I'm not sure, did people introduce themselves or?
Yes, we have done that already. We already finished with that.
Excellent. So let's jump into the session, to the presentation.
All right, so can you go to the next slide, please? So we have done already one session earlier, ready, and that was done on the last Wednesday of April. So now we have the second one, which is going to focus on life on Nanaimo housing, budget, and immigration. But also, if you have any questions about academic issues, enrolling in classes, choosing courses, and so on, we can also answer those as well. And then we have a third one happening on the last Wednesday in July, which will help you understand how campus life works, what kind of activities you can be involved, orientation, and so on. But once again, if you have questions at that point, you can bring them up on that day. I remind you once again, you can reach out to any of the advisors anytime. We are not going on vacation during the summer. You can always make an appointment using Experience Hub, and we'll be able to help you one-on-one. So I think the first presenter today is housing, is Michael. Yeah, so he's going to take over now.
Hello, folks, and it's wonderful to have so many friends from all over the world joining us. That's a really impressive list of places that everyone's coming from. I have a poll to start us off. So, Mike, I wonder if you'd be able to launch that for us. Just to find out what arrangements people have made already. Do we have that one ready to go?
Yep, I'll just go ahead and launch it now.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Okay, so before we start, would you be able to let us know what accommodation you have booked so far for September, or even if you are arriving a little earlier, if you're on campus, if you booked rental accommodation off campus, if you booked into homestay, that might be some of our ESL folks, or if you have not yet booked, and that would be the information I would like to know. Okay. I'll give you another 10 seconds, I think, to get your responses in. Let's see how many we can get. We've got 20 very active folks who get onto these polls very quickly. 5 seconds. 3. Okay. So we're looking here at around about 29% for residents. That's great. Homestay, a small amount, 18 already booked for off-campus, which is great. 40% have not yet booked. So I'm going to be talking largely to this 40% of folks who've not yet booked their accommodation, but there may be some questions also about your off-campus rental. If you've already signed a lease, you've already agreed something with the landlord, that I can help you with if you wish. So this is me. I'm Michael. I'm the off-campus housing support for VIU. You can find me either through the co-curricular app, which is a great thing to get on your phone. Please do so as soon as you can. There's our web address. I'm also in building 255. But honestly, if you Google VIU off-campus housing, I pop to the top of the list. So it's super easy to find me, or anywhere on campus you see these lovely multicolored houses. There'll be a QR code on the poster. You can ping that and jump straight through to the website. Through the website, you can contact me and you can also book appointments to come and meet either in person or online. So next slide, please. Super. When you get through to the general housing options page through VIU, you're going to see a link there through to residences, me, or to the homestay external provider of homestay, which is CHN. But given that you're wanting to find out information about off-campus housing, you click there. Next slide, please. And find yourself, oh, beg your pardon. That's the other places to go find me, actually. Super easy. We've just covered that, I think, so we can click through. Yeah. You get through to my page, and the landing page on my website looks like this. I think about 90% of folks go to this first button, find rental properties and roommates, because that's most people's first question. Where am I going to live? If you click through to that, what you will see, next slide, please, thank you very much, is this page. So most importantly, in pink, there's a link through to our main trusted provider of listings, which is Places for Students. It's not VIU, it's a third-party provider, but we have a long-standing and trusting relationship with them. So I'd go and try them first. And then there are other listings available, other private providers, and then all of the Facebook pages that we know about. Try and join all the Facebook pages, just really investigate all of the possibilities that you can. You can also see there if, for example, you're living in with a landlord, that you don't have a kind of legal rental agreement, but I've provided a suggested agreement. You're very welcome to ask me about that if you wish. Further down that page, you're going to see some further resources for roommates. Yeah, absolutely, click through. Which include another agreement, for example, that you could use if you're moving in. Perhaps you're moving in with 3 or 4 people that you've never met before, you've never lived with before, and you just want to agree on the balance of the rent payments, balance of bill payments, but also who's going to clean the bathroom next week. You know, all of those considerations when you're living with other folks. Some people are understandably concerned about fake adverts, fake listings, scams. Every now and again, we get 1 or 2. I've had 1 so far this year. So I would advise everybody, especially if you're using the free sites and the Facebook groups, just to keep your eyes open and be familiar with this list of scam avoidance tips. There's some really big obvious things that jump out at you when you see a scam advert, but I'm going to run a course in the next day and the next week. You are very welcome to come and I'll go into that in much more depth. You're always welcome to ask me. Next slide, please. Super. I know you're going to have a session on budgeting in general. I also keep my eye on not just the cost of renting in the area, but also the other associated off-campus living costs. So looking at it in spring this year, of course, rent is going to be the largest part of your budget. And, you know, for me, what's important here is that if you live alone, that dark bar to the furthest left-hand side, you're going to be paying, you know, maybe $1,600, but then also your food and a larger chunk of utilities because it's just you. So in the end, sharing with 2 or more people is going to bring your budget right down to something like what most people are saying they can afford this year, which is around about $900 or so dollars per month. Okay, thank you very much. Generally speaking, that's about the price range I'm seeing at the moment, around about $800 to $1,500 if you're going to live alone, with $900 being typical. Again, that's about right if you're living in with a landlord as well, a homeowner who's got a spare bedroom and is opening that up for students. Can be a very nice arrangement. Look out for one-off costs as well when you're doing your budgeting. Your security deposit should never be more than half of 1 month's rent. So if a landlord is asking you for a month's rent as security deposit, you're very welcome to ask me again, but know that 50% is the maximum legal limit. Landlords can ask you for renters insurance. We have a discount deal with TD Insurance. So again, come and ask me if you have to get renters insurance, but possibly around $25 a month. And then if you are living alone, especially if you're getting a 1-bedroom apartment, you may well be needing to pay for utility installation and indeed furnishings. So you could find yourself without a bed or a sofa if you're just getting a 1-bedroom apartment. Do check with the landlord, please. Landlords certainly should not be asking you for things like application fees or, credit check fees, that sort of thing. Okay, next slide, please. I also have, there's a number of, budgeting tools available to you, including through the international site. I've made my own here because it goes into some of your off-campus living costs a little bit deeper. For example, your car costs and cell plan and such like. You can find that through my website. And it's a PDF that works in a browser, so you can do your calculations nice and easily, and it tells you roughly what you've got left at the end of the month. Okay. It's a competitive market at the moment. It's no secret, I think, that Canada in general as a country, and indeed, many countries around the world, are experiencing a rental housing shortage, and we're playing catch up a little bit. So at least for the foreseeable future, we're expecting to be dealing with low vacancy rates. The increase in demand for rentals, especially in Nanaimo, is in the lower budget range. We're seeing a lot of families and seniors also domestically moving to Nanaimo as a great place to be, a little bit cheaper than, say, for example, Vancouver. So consequently, the same price range of rentals that perhaps students are looking for are also being sought after by those groups as well. It just means that you have to be a little more competitive. Have seen a bit of an uptick in listings, over the last few months. So there is some hope in there. But pushing yourself ahead of the pack, making yourself attractive in the eyes of the landlord as their next great tenant is really, what you should be keeping in mind. So it means you should be sending them a lovely cover letter, character references, hopefully from a past landlord, if not an employer. And some first-time renters and newcomers to the area could also be thinking of getting family, for example, parents to act as guarantors for their rent payment, and that can help to secure you that agreement with a landlord. Let your landlords know that you've done your budgeting. They love to know that you are aware of how much money you need over the next year or so, and you're a dependable rent payer. You don't have to provide proof of your finances, but come and ask me. It is something that you can consider, but I would recommend, for example, at least blanking out any of your personal details on a form, for example, a bank statement. Landlords can ask for a credit check, so make that available to them if possible. I think it's important that you understand the basics of your tenancy rights and responsibilities, and I'll talk a little about my course coming up. For example, if you're just renting a room off a landlord, you may not be covered by the same rules and laws as if you were just renting a standalone accommodation. So make sure you understand which is which, and use my education and resources information on my website. Come and get a VIU Rentwise certificate. I'm running a training tomorrow for which I think we're about full at the moment, but also next week as well. You're welcome to sign up for that free session. Always try and speak to your landlord, get a video conversation going with them, get them to show you around the property in a video call as well, just to give you that reassurance that everything's going to go ahead smoothly. For roommates, you can go to my site. There's links through to lots of resources, for example, the Student Union app. Get that on your phone. That'll help you to connect with roommates in the future as well. Some cohorts and programs will have their own WhatsApp groups or LinkedIn groups. I'm not part of those groups because I'm not a student, but I know that lots of students find connections, roommates, a spare room in a house through those avenues. So definitely do that, and I'd recommend you use that roommate guide if you are moving in with folks, especially if you don't know them. Okay. Next slide, please. Thank you. Other popular buttons on my landing page would be, for example, we've talked about the education and resources button, which is under the blue arrow there. That'll give you loads more information if you can't make my courses. There's some little videos I've made recently, so they're up to date, and they're like 5 minutes long or so. Temporary accommodation, if you get super stuck, if you arrive at the last minute, sometimes people get study permits or flights booked right at the end of August, and they arrive and they suddenly need somewhere to be for a week or a month while they're finding more permanent accommodation. I can give you some good suggestions. We've got some nice relationships with local hotels, for example, who you can do a discounted rate with for a 30-day stay, for example. As you sort of go through your rental journey here, you might on occasion find yourself having an issue or a dispute with roommates or even with your landlord. And in that case, you are also very welcome to come to me for some information about what you can do and hopefully resolve that situation in a friendly way. Okay, thank you. Super. So the courses that I was talking about here, they're the VIU RentWise courses. You can see there that it's really comprehensive. In 2.5 hours, I'm going to cover everything that hopefully you need to know about being a responsible renter and somebody who knows their rights. As an international student, you have the same rights as a renter here as, a Canadian who's born here and lived here all their lives. So know that. And if you'd like to know more, come along to my courses. As I say, this one on the 27th of June is pretty full. The 4th of July, there's spaces on that one. Let me know by midday the day before, and I can get you out a link to the meeting and some preparation tasks. Okay. Fine. Very occasionally, some people are a little confused about the traveling arrangements. We are Vancouver Island, so you can reach us by various means, either by air or by sea. When you get here, you may wish to know some local travel options, for example, how to get from the airport or even just taxi from the harbour when you arrive by ferry. I've got all these links as well, so if you want to email me, I can put them in an email for you. When you get here, do get the transit app on your phone. It'll help you navigate the bus routes a little more easily as well. Thank you. Okay, that's me. It's more of a signpost. I don't expect everybody to remember all the details, but you know roughly what my services are. And I'm also linked into all of the other student affairs services, which includes counselling, and I can happily make referrals. If you're having a tough time at home, then it can also impact your mental well-being. It can also impact your studies, and I'm very glad to connect people up to the other services in the university that can support you. All right, look forward to welcoming you soon. Take care, everybody.
Michael, I just wanted to let you know someone asked for some guidance about rental insurance. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so renters insurance or tenants insurance, it's the same thing. It basically covers you for loss and damage to your personal property up to a certain amount, just like any insurance really. I would say that's kind of useful because, if you think there's a student house with 4 or 5 or 6 students in it, that's multiple laptops and multiple bicycles, probably, whatever. So they can make your life a little bit more reassured knowing that they're covered. For the landlord, there is a certain amount of liability insurance. Say, for example, you accidentally set fire to something on the stove top while you're cooking, and you damage the stove, then your renter's insurance may well cover the damage to the stove, and therefore, landlords can insist on your rental agreement, and it is part of the law that yes, that's allowable. So if it does say on your agreement renter's insurance required, there's a number of places you can shop around. I'm happy to let you know. As I say, VIU has a partnership with TD Insurance, which is the bank, and they'll do you a discount with the code. So come and ask if you wish to use that. Hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you, Michael. If anyone has any questions or if it comes to you throughout the session, remember just use the Q&A function and we'll have, well, Michael will still be here, but someone will be happy to type in an answer for you. So next up, pre-arrival support, we have Enrique Chacon, academic advisor.
Thank you, Simon. So, as you guys know, we have been trying to give you as much information as possible before you arrive in Nanaimo in September. So these are some of the ways we are delivering that information. One of them is this way, Wednesday webinar series. So, as I said before, this is the second one of the series, and the last one will be delivered on the last Wednesday in July, and hopefully we'll cover as much information as possible that way. Besides that, we also have an online course set up on VIU Learn. VIU Learn is the platform you guys use when you are students at VIU for the professor to give you the homework, the assignments, the class outline, in different ways to participate in your courses. So by accessing VIU Learn now, you're gonna get you're gonna familiar with this platform, and hopefully you will find information you require before you arrive in this Ready Set Go course. Now, until today, we had only made available the first section of the course, but as of now, you guys have access to the second set of modules, which is around 30 modules that I just made live now. In the website, it says it comes live July 1st, but July 1st is a holiday here in Canada, so I wanted to go ahead and jump a little bit further forward and give you the access today. So if you access your Ready, Set, Go and via you learn, you will see that there will be at least 30 new modules right there waiting for you to complete. Another thing that is very important to get ready is you should enroll in classes, and you have to do that both for fall and the spring semesters. So not everybody has to enroll in classes. Please, next slide. Okay, so that's something I already mentioned. Uh, this is information about the Ready, Set, Go that I was telling you earlier. So basically, the information that you find there is everything you need to know before you get to VIU. Now, to get there, all you need to do is go to the VIU website, let's say viu.ca, and you select current students. And in that screen, you will see one option that says VIU Learn. Click on VIU Learn. You will have to log in. Now, if you are unable to log in, it's because you haven't created your computer account yet. So you should do that first, and then you should be able to log in into VIU Learn after that. And one of the options you will see there is the VIU, the Ready, Set, Go, International Ready, Set, Go Launchpad to Success at VIU. Okay, so this is the information about the pre-arrival webinars. As I said, the first one already completed, ready, and we're in the second and the third one. Okay, so let's talk about registration. So as I said earlier, you should register for both semesters, fall and spring. Not everybody had to do so. So can you please go to the next slide? Well, you're bouncing all over the place here. This is about the what I said earlier. You have more than one computer account at VIU. So let's just summarize it. With your student record, that's how you register for classes, okay? So that's what the students also call the student portal. You find there access to your finance information. It tells you how much money you own, how you pay it. It's all there. This is also how you can request a letter of enrollment. This is also how you can register for classes. And this is also how you have access to different forms required by the registration office. As I said, letter of enrollment, official transcripts, and so on. This is all here under student record. The other one is VIU Learn, the one that you use to get information from your classes, including this pre-arrival support we are telling you about today. So that is a learning platform used by the instructors. Now, sometimes you will hear referred as D2L. D2L is the software behind VIU Learn, but that is what it means. And the other one is the Experience Hub. The Experience Hub is the way for you guys to get in touch with us, to find help when you need it. So if you, and instead of just giving you the URLs, you just go to Google and just type VIU Experience Hub, and it will take you there. If you cannot log in straight away, it's because you have not activated your computer account. So please make sure you activate your computer account first. Just to clarify, your student record is something you access with your student ID number and your date of birth for the first time. Hopefully after that you change your password to something that you only know, and it will be just you who have access to that. Once you log into a student record, there will be, if you've never done it, it will be a button saying activate computer account. You click on that one, and it will take you to the computer account for VIU, which is a separate login as the student record. You can use the same password if you want, but you can have two separate ones to access those two. Once you activate your computer account, you can then access VIU Learn, you can access Experience Hub and other services at VIU. So just please make sure you understand that you have to kind of activate two different accounts and create passwords for those accounts in order to access these services. Next, please. All right, so let's talk about enrolling in classes. Full-time enrollment means being at least enrolled in 9 credits. Most courses in VIU have 3 credits. So in order to be enrolled as a full-time student, you need at least three 3 credit courses in a semester. So in each semester, you should be enrolled in at least 9 credits. Now, is it mandatory to be full-time student? Well, there is not a mandatory requirement for this, but it's very important to be a full-time student. And later, Mac is going to explain the consequences of being a full-time student in order to work off campus. But if for whatever reason you need to be part-time, let's say you are failing one course and you need to get out of it before the end of the semester, that will put you as a part-time student, then you can do that. It's not like something terrible will happen to you. But as I say, they will have some immigration implications that Mac may explain later on. In any case, we expect you to maintain a full-time enrollment status in each semester, so 9 credits in each one, if you are planning to continue working after graduation in Canada. Many of you have already made a deposit of $10,000. That money is all used towards your fees. So that money is not separate from your fees. It's not like you pay 10,000 and then you pay your fees. No, that's part of your fees. So once you enroll in classes, it will automatically get deducted from that $10,000, and you can see in your student record and their finance how much money is left in your account. Okay. Now, so the minimum will be 9 credits. What's the maximum? Well, 15 credits. 5 courses is what we expect students to take every semester in order for them to complete their degree in the time that is allotted. So for example, if you're in a 4-year degree, you can only finish in 4 years if you take an average of 15 credits every semester. That doesn't mean something terrible happen if you decide to take only 9 or 12, because you can then make up for those credits in the summer. And there is no rule that says you must get out of here in 4 years. So if you don't complete your amount of, most of the programs are 120 credits. If you don't complete the 120 credits in 4 years, that's fine. Nothing's going to happen to you. Nobody's coming after you, asking you to get out of here or anything. You can then continue and finish whenever you have to. But as I said before, the recommended amount of credits in order for you to complete a 4-year degree, 120 credits in 4 years, is to take 15 credits in spring, 15 credits in fall, and then the summer semesters are there as a backup. You can then go ahead and take summer classes if you want to. You don't have to. And the summer semester, like we are right now, between May and August, is considered an academic break. So maybe later Mac will tell you what that means in order for you to be able to work in Canada full time. Next, please. So how to register for classes. There is a video that is very useful. It's called the web tutorial, and it's available online. So if you just Google VIU web tutorial, it will give you a step-by-step instructions of how to register for classes. So hopefully this will be clear enough that you will be able to do it yourself. But if you can't, can you go to the next one, please? There is some resources available for you to help you register for these courses. So there is some information available in the Learning Matters website about how to build your timetable. And there's an explanation of what the reserve seats means, what a course wait list is, and what happened with course wait list. So basically, just to summarize it for you, um, actually, if you go to the next slide, it will be easier. It has a little, yeah. So some of the students at VIU have set courses. That means they don't need to choose the courses each semester. They are already set up for you. All the graduate programs, for example, if you are in a master's or another graduate program, they will be all set for you. You don't choose which courses you take. But if you're in an undergraduate course, in an undergraduate degree, like a BA, BBA, Bachelor of Science, then you have to select the courses. And there is two types of courses. The core courses, which are part of your degree. For example, if you are doing computer science, they will be called CSCI something. And they are computer classes, the computer science classes that you must take to graduate. But also, all of these programs also have a number of elective courses that you need to take. So elective courses are any course outside of your program. So once again, if you're in computer science, you would like to take something in anthropology, maybe psychology, sociology. We have excellent elective courses called Foundation for Success, FNFS, that will actually help you do better in the other classes you take at VIU. So a combination of these courses is required for you to graduate. Once again, you need to complete 120 credits to graduate from a 4-year degree at VIU. If you are doing a diploma, then most of them is only 60 credits for graduation. And if it's a certificate, it will be around 30 credits. Okay, next one. Now, when you choose classes, you're going to notice that not all the classes are available face-to-face. So there is a different type of courses offered at VIU. So please pay attention to that when you choose your classes. Most classes are in person. So the majority of classes at VIU are done in person. But some of them are what we call blended. So blended means it's part in person, part online. And the way those classes are delivered, it depends of the professor. So if you choose a class that's called blended synchronous, that means both the in-person and the online portions will be delivered at a specific time every week. So if you choose a class that is Monday and Wednesday from 10 to 11:30, you have to be there either in person or online Monday and Wednesday 10 to 11:30 Pacific Standard Time. Okay? If the class is asynchronous, means, and if it's blended, the in-person section will happen at a specific times that is being posted, but the online section won't be a specific time. What it has is some deadlines. So the professor will let you know at the beginning of the class, you must complete this assignment by this time, and you will be giving clear instructions on how to do that. But that's what blended asynchronous means. And the same thing with the online options. If the class is purely online, means you don't have to meet the professor in person ever during the semester. All the assignments and the things will happen online. If it's a synchronous class, excuse me, they will be at the same time every week and the schedule that has been posted. And if it's asynchronous, when you look at your schedule, you don't see anything. This class is not there. Why? Because asynchronous means there is no specific time in the day every week for you guys to meet. There will be deadlines. There will be a deadline set by the professor when you have to submit the required coursework for this class. One more thing that you need to consider when you're taking online classes, you need to clarify if the final exam is going to be in person or online, because that could be another thing that the professor will explain to you. Now, all these things will be clear to you the first day of classes, but as I said earlier, the D2L, the VIU Learn platform, for many of these courses will have all these very clearly explained there, and you can go there for explanation. Okay, so when you enroll in a class, sometimes you're going to see a yellow exclamation point that says you have a prerequisite problem with this class. And I would recommend everybody who enroll in classes, after you're done enrolling, you're going to see in your enrollment record that there's a button that says prerequisite check. Just click on that button. Make sure everything has a green check mark. That means you are ready to go, no problems whatsoever. If you see a yellow exclamation point, means something you are missing. I don't know what it is. It's different for every class. It will tell you there what it is. So, if, for example, if what you are missing is another class that you must take earlier, you please drop that one and go back and take the class that you require before you can take that one. If the requirement is because you don't belong to that program, you're trying to take a class for a program that you are not part of, let's say tourism studies, and you are not in the tourism program, in that case, you could either drop the class or you can ask permission from the instructor or the chair to join the class. It's a case on by case basis that you can handle this thing. But very important to know, if you don't drop the class and you don't have the prerequisites, they will drop the class for you, which will be terrible because if you wait until the classes start now, you lose the one class and you need to find another one. And many of these classes are getting full. So please take care of this as soon as possible. And if you need any help with that, just make an appointment to talk to one of the advisors online. Thank you. Now, which programs do not require that you enroll in classes? The following: all the master's program, for example, the MBA, the people in the hospitality management degree, recreation and sports management, tourism management, culinary arts, and the culinary management diploma, and that also includes baking, early childhood education, engineering transfer diploma, the fisheries and agriculture, and information technology applied system, or ITAS. So if you are in any of these programs, you don't have to enroll in classes. They will enroll for you. Okay, so you don't have to do anything. Okay. Good. Now, important dates for this semester. The International Student Orientation, and I think we're going to talk to you about that later, and we're going to give you more information, more details about how that works, is happening in August, so before classes start. So keep that in mind when you're planning when to travel to Canada. The last day to request a deferral and get your money back is August 15. You deal with that with study@viu.ca. That's where you have to email them to find out why you will need a referral. For example, if you are waiting for approval for your study permit and it gets denied, then you need to let us know immediately so we can then process the deferral either to put you in the next semester so you can come in January instead of September or whatever the case is. But you have to let us know as soon as possible. On September the 2nd, the university will be closed. So when you see in the calendar dates like holidays, that means the university is closed. Nobody's going to be here to help you. All the offices are closed. But if it's something like a break, is different. Like you will see later, we have a week off in November. During that week, the university remains open. We are all here working, but the students don't have classes. So that's a difference between a holiday like Labor Day. And September 3rd will be the first day of classes. Okay. So that Tuesday, that will be the first day you encounter your first instructions. Please attend. Yeah, VIU has a policy that if you are not there for the first day of classes, the professor can just get you out of the class because most of these classes have students waiting. There's a wait list. So we need to move the people who are not present here in order for other people to take that spot. Now, if the reason you are late is because you miss your flight, something happens, something outside of your control, please email the instructor immediately to let them know that you won't be able to be there for the first day of classes and give them an explanation of why. So he and she or she can handle it and maybe wait for you and not just take you out of the class automatically. How you contact your instructor is very easy. Every time you enroll in a class, there will be a little blue circle with an eye on it. You click on that blue circle and it will give you the name and the email address of the instructor. Although the email address of everybody at VIU is very, very simple. It's only our first name, period, last name at viu.ca. So all you need to know about anybody to contact them is their first and last name, and then you can send them an email. And please, every time you contact us, anywhere, anybody at VIU, always include your student ID number. It's very frustrating when you send us a question and we cannot help you because we cannot access your record, we cannot see the details. The answers we give you depend on your circumstances. We cannot just give you a general answer. So please always include your student number so we can actually make the answer relevant to you. Also, September the 10th is very important. If you have been waitlisted for a class, you will be in this waitlist until the 10th. After that date, if there is a space available in the class, you will have to request a late add. into the course. And you will see that link appear in your student record. So it's something that you can do afterwards. So stay in the class. If you are waitlisted, attend classes. First of all, you have to be there. You have to do all the work. You have to make sure the professor knows you are being active in the class. And if you're still in the waitlist until after September 10th, then you can request a late add into the class. So it's not like the end of the world if you cannot get in. Now, if you are in the wait list number, 10, 11, 12, your chances are not that great that you're going to get into that class. So you should have a plan B. Stay in the wait list, as I say before, never know what's going to happen between now and then, but maybe have another class already, register in another class just in case you have to drop that one. Okay. For the other dates that are important, September 17 is the last day to get out of any class and get some money back. After the September 17, you pay the full fees for the classes that you are registered in. Another holiday coming up is October the 14th. There will be this Thanksgiving Day. The university will be closed. And then there will be another holiday on November the 11th, but that week will be the whole week of study days, which means a week off. Basically, what that means is there is no classes that week, okay? So the week of November 11th to 15th is an academic break. The university will remain open from the 12th to the 15th. The 11th is a holiday for everybody. I think it's family day, something like that, or busy day, one of those holidays. And on November the 25th is your last day for academic free withdrawal. What that means is if you are in a class and now you're getting to the end of November, by that point, you should be aware if you're going to fail or not this class and you're doing well or not. Please always talk to instructors about these decisions when you're thinking, oh my God, I think I'm going to fail this class. Talk to the teacher and he or she will be the best person to help you judge. Yes, you don't have a good chance to pass. If that's the case, the last day you have to drop this class is November the 25th. There won't be any refunds, no money back, but at least you won't get an F, which is very important. You want to avoid getting Fs in your record because if you do get an F, you may get into academic concern the next year and maybe academic suspension the year after that, which is called academic pause here at VIU. All right. Next one. I think that one is for Mac, but then it's a poll question coming up. So if you go to the next slide, we are ready to ask.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Enrique. So I'll take on from here. So thank you for extensive, good presentation, Enrique. So can we launch this poll? It's what's the status of your study permit? So I don't see.
It's just in the chat there, Mac.
Oh, okay. That's approved. Great. 52% is approved, which is awesome. Only 20 people responded. We'll wait for a second. Okay. 52%. 38% in progress. Haven't started yet. 9%, which is a bit, time consuming. I think a study permit preparation is a bit time consuming process. So I would highly recommend to those who didn't start, please start that as soon as you received your letter of acceptance. Approved and ready to come, 48%. Okay, 46% now. 28 students. Okay, great. So shall we wait a few seconds or? Okay. I think that's it. This is good. Good information.
I think for some reason some students are responding in the chat instead of the poll. Maybe they don't see the poll. I don't know, but
Oh, I'm not sure
yeah,
either.
you will have to scroll down the chat to see all the responses. But hopefully, everybody, please use the poll because it's much easier for us to see the results that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. So far I see. So I think we can close this now. Mike, I
Cool.
think we
Yep.
can close this.
Sounds good. I just closed
I
it.
think I have rough picture, which is great. So it looks like many of you have applied, which is great. So I see only 28 respondents here, but that's good. So small number of students haven't started yet application process. I would highly recommend you guys please start as soon as you receive your letter of acceptance, attestation letter. Please submit application for study permit. Some of you might be coming for short-term studies, like many of our German students come for one semester, or from Japan, some students come for only for short one semester studies. So that's fine. They can study on visa. uh, some countries will have only ETA. ETA is electronic visa to come to Canada, but some countries are required to apply for study permit. As soon as they apply for study permit, if it's approved, they will receive on their passport visa as well. That is a entry to Canada document. Study permit is your status document, which makes you international student in Canada and permission to study. So you will have, when you come to border, when you fly to Canada, on the border, immigration officer may ask you your documentation. So you won't have physical study permit in your hand, but you will have, we call that a letter of introduction. So that says your study permit approved, and I think it says introduction letter and study permit approved. So with that letter, when you enter Canada, you will provide that to officer. They will issue for you physical study permit, which is yellowish document. But make sure to read what's written there. So because your name might be misspelled, or some information might be, incorrect there. So before you leave airport, please check that, read through, and then put into your passport, and then you are good to come to campus. Uh, when you arrive to Canada, it doesn't mean that immigration officer allows you to get in. They may ask a few questions. Don't be intimidated because this is normal process. They may ask you a few questions. They may ask you if you have sufficient funds and etc. etc. You may, when you submit your application, you will provide all that documentation. Just have those documentation in digital form somewhere ready to accessible in your cell phone or something. So then you can provide those copies to officer if asked. If not, don't worry about that and proceed and exit the airport. Upon your arrival at the airport, as I said, review, I saw that in the poll, half of you are coming to undergraduate studies, half of you coming to graduate studies, which means master degree students. If you're master's degree students, especially like MBA and the diploma programs like graduate diploma in management or other programs. So in those programs, you will study continuously full time. It's called cohort program. So you don't have, as Enrique explained, the scheduled break, vacation time. You will start with group of students and you graduate. But please keep in mind, you need to be continuously full-time as an international student. For undergraduate students, you need to be enrolled in each semester, at least in 9 credit courses. As a graduate student, you don't have to do anything. You'll be automatically enrolled to the courses and you will continue your studies. Upon arrival, make sure that you will scan your study permit and send the copy to study@viu.ca. May I request the next slide, please? Travel requirements. Make sure, please, go to online Google search travel.gc.ca. That's the Government of Canada website, and that explains you travel requirements and entry to Canada requirements. Make sure you just check through that. It'll be very helpful information there. Also, we have really good page that's travel preparation. You can go to Google search and say VIU travel preparation. This page pops up. Make sure to review that. We have about 1.5 pages of good information there. So it will be very helpful for you to prepare and to organize your travel trip to Canada successfully. Reminders. If you're undergraduate student, make sure you select your fall and spring semesters simultaneously. Some students leave it up to the last day and show up first day of the class in our offices, panicking that they didn't enroll to courses because they thought that advisors, academic advisors, enrolls them. No, it's your responsibility. Please make sure to enroll simultaneously to fall semester and spring semester courses. So you can find the course list of the courses in your program. If you go to your program, if it's Bachelor of Business Administration, search for Bachelor of Business Administration and look into the program outlines. And program outlines gives you a list of courses, the courses, and you need to select from those courses. Make sure you will select at least 3 courses in fall semester, at least 3 courses in spring semester, and you'll be set. Don't worry, if you wanted to replace the courses, you could do so, and we can assist with those ones. And please don't plan to come too early. Some of the students show up 2-3 months earlier and try to work. If you do so, it will be illegal work. And if they caught you working before your classes starts, you can be well deported. So please be cautious with that. And Canadian immigration laws are very restrictive. I don't want to intimidate you, but I wanted to educate you. So try to come at the beginning of August or mid-August. That's a good timing to arrive because Canadian immigration doesn't recommend you to come 3 months, 2 months earlier. If you end up coming, if you are coming with ETA, let's say if you're in from visa exemption country and holding ETA, electronic travel authorization, you may come earlier, but please don't work. You can be tourists and, enjoy your time while explore Nanaimo. No problem with that. But please don't work. Frequently asked questions. Some students get really panicked. If they get study permit refused, please don't panic. So you can get that letter and submit to admission office and request deferral. So deferral means your enrollment will be active, but your starting date might be in next intake. And during that time, you can reapply and get approval. We had so many students who got their study permit approved in second attempt. So don't be discouraged, don't panic, just keep calm. And if you need help, contact immigration advisors and we'll guide you through. But if you decide, no, it's enough, I don't want to proceed, then ask a refund from VIU. But please remember, asking refunds has a deadline at VIU. So you can ask your refund before or on August 15. Afterwards, you need to, consult with admission officers by sending them email and copying visa refusal to you. And then officers will review if you are eligible for exception and your money will be refunded to your account. So that's how it works. Only my advice, please don't panic because there is a solution for everything. Next slide, please. I would recommend you to contact if you have any questions about course selections and course replacement or prerequisites. Please consult our advisors. That would be advising@viu.ca. If you have immigration related questions, if you got refusal, wanted to reapply, then contact us immigration@viu.ca. If you have questions about housing, then contact my colleague Michael through housing@viu.ca. If you have admission questions or wanting to have a refund or wanting to defer your start of your classes, then please contact study@viu.ca. If you're a master's student, please contact admission through masters@viu.ca. Next slide, please. So thank you. If you have any questions about immigration so I wouldn't be able here to answer case-specific questions, but I will answer to all general questions, no problem with that. Thank you.
Mac, we have a few questions in the chat that I think are general enough. Can I read them out to you?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, so sorry, my chat has stalled. So somebody is coming from Germany for 1 semester, so they don't need a study permit, but that means they don't get an introduction letter. What do they show the immigration officer for documentation?
Electronic authorization, that's ETA will call. ETA, electronic travel authorization, and student must apply for it, and that will be valid online visa for 5 years. I would highly recommend to submit application for electronic travel authorization.
Thank you. There's one more here, which might be the same answer. It says, what documents does the officer require to issue co-op work permit for MBA students besides the study permit?
It depends on if students submit application for study permit application, and there is a question in study permit application. If student responded to question that said, do you also need work permit? If student said yes and have chosen COP work permit, student will be issued upon arrival COP work permit as well. If student forgot to do that, no problem. Please don't panic. It's free application and will assist you in-house, and then you will submit application and receive that work permit before your internship starts.
Okay, thank you for that. There was a question about someone who's waiting for a visa decision, but I felt like that was covered in your chat. So I will leave that one. And if anybody has a question still, please put that back in. Just going through here. I think we're good in the question and answer. I'm just going to go
Awesome.
over and check the chat
Thank
just in
you.
case there's a question in there. Thank you, Mac.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll pass on to
Oh,
assign
sorry,
number.
Mac, before you go, somebody
Okay.
did ask, in case we don't get a visa decision by September, what course of action should be taken?
So in that case, I would highly recommend to contact, if you're a master's degree student, please contact masters@viu.ca and inform them immediately, because then, your choices will be limited. If your program allows you to start online, your choice will be starting online. If not, then, you need to ask deferral before August 15th. If until August 15th you're still waiting the officer's decision, then please contact and defer your studies to next intake, please. That will be safer route for you.
This person's in the graduate diploma program. Would they also get a hold of masters@viu.ca?
No, they need to contact study@viu.ca.
Okay, thank you for that. There's a couple more questions here.
Sure.
Oh, sorry. I was issued with an open work permit instead of a co-op permit. What can I do?
Please read the conditions of the co-op work permit. Even if you may be misreading the details of your work permit. Even that work permit could say open work permit, but if you read conditions most likely say this is if it's integral part of your studies. So work permit issued for the integral, part of your studies. So that and also it has small details. It says your employer says Vancouver Island University. So that means it's not really open work permits. That is a part of your studies. And please do not use that to get a job. That is only valid for the period of internship. So I would recommend you to hold on to that. And when you are on campus, please book an appointment with us. We'll be reviewing your all documentation and giving you specific guidance. Thank you.
There's a few more questions. I'm going to keep going here if that's
Sure.
okay.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
Someone has not yet applied for the SDS permit. When is the deadline to do that?
Oh, I would say please apply as soon as you can, because it takes a long time now. So now July, August, if you are very lucky, it can be processed, until August 15th. If not, then, it'll be tough. If you're coming from visa exempt countries like United States, you can apply on the border. So that's only a country which falls under exception. Other students must apply online for study permit as soon as they have letter of acceptance and the letter of attestation. Please do so as soon as possible. Thank you.
Okay, great answer. Right now, today.
Yeah.
Next question is, when is the deadline for arrival for a graduate student?
There is no deadline per se, but you have to arrive before or on your first day of class. If you're not showing up in a first day of class, as my colleague mentioned, Enrique, you'll be removed from all your classes. You'll be deregistered, and then it'll be tough for you to get into the classes, because the VIU has a no-show policy, as per which if you're not showing up first day of the class, you'll be removed from classes. And then it'll be tough to get back into the classes.
Okay, thank you. In case I have two questions about when is my next intake, or in case someone doesn't meet the intake for the fall, when is the next option?
Yeah, it's different for different programs. I would highly recommend to check your program start dates. For master's degree programs, we have usually one intake in September, but that exception only applies to MBA program. MBA program has two intakes. That's in September and then in January. So you can defer to January if you are MBA student. If you're, let's say, undergraduate student, a BBA, Bachelor of Business Administration program, for example, then your intake will be next year, September. So you can start. No, so let me correct my answer. Let's go back. BBA program has also two intakes. So you can defer to next intake, which would be January 1st, 2nd. But the other programs like Bachelor of Arts, Hospitality Management, ECEC programs, Early Childhood Education programs, those programs has intakes only in September. So that your next intake will be next year. So until that time, you have good time, enough time to reapply and get approval for your study permit and arrive, 1 month earlier to your classes start next year. You won't lose much, but you'll be deferring your intake for the next classes start date.
Great, thank you. Somebody's asking, does it matter if we take SDS or normal visa? What are the key differences that they make?
SDS is a faster processing, but you need to show that you have paid to the university $20,000 as a tuition fees. Then also you have to have through Scotiabank or RBC of Canada, you have to lock $20,600 living expenses in Canada and get a GIC. That's a certificate, GIC, that shows that you locked 20,600 in Canadian bank account. And then you provide that documents to SDS, your application will be processed within 20 plus days. But please keep in mind, Canadian immigration is heavily backlogged. So that takes to you, even if you apply for that expedited study permit processing, it takes 2 months plus. So I would say apply today, please. As soon as possible.
Thank you for that. Somebody is still on the waiting list for residents on campus, and they're wondering what time they're going to get their confirmation that they have a spot there or that they don't. Is anyone able to answer that?
I would refer that to Michael.
Mike, hi, Michael.
Oh, yes, indeed. I'm just typing an answer. I think it might be to Arpan, but the short answer is residents say that they will be releasing their official wait list at the end of this month. So in a few days, logging onto your portal through which you applied for residence should tell you what your wait list number is. What I would suggest is that unless you fall into some of the very specific prioritization categories, like you have an accommodation, for example, then you can judge roughly when you applied to be indicative of your chances. If you applied within the last month, for example, I would seriously start exploring your off-campus housing options. Get in touch with residents at viu.ca. Otherwise, come and ask me for just a little bit more advice as well.
Okay, thank you for that. We are coming down to possibly a more specific one that could be applied to others. Matthew's asking if he sends a message to us when his visa application process is still in progress, will the school send him a new letter of acceptance that starts the program in January? Like, will students get a new letter of acceptance if they're delayed, I think is what Matthew is asking.
Yes, the university can provide updated letter of acceptance for sure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. The next question, I'm working my way down the list, so I'm at 1019 right now. Indra was asking about, is there a January intake for graduate diploma program? I would need the specific program to answer you there, Indra. So if you're able to tell me which specific program, maybe you already have, it could be down further that I can't see yet. We will get back to you. Somebody is asking about, oh, sorry.
I am not sure about this program, but these graduate business programs usually have 2 intakes. I would highly recommend to check in program description online.
I
So,
just
but
checked.
we can clarify.
Yeah, she answered me. It's the project management, and there is actually only 1 intake in September. So there is not a
Then it'll
January
be,
intake
yeah,
for that
then
program.
it'll be September 2025.
Okay.
Then,
Indra's
yeah.
saying she's skeptical about the, sorry, something's just covered my chat. There we go. Skeptical about the level of study for graduate diploma. Is it considered undergraduate or graduate? I think she's wanting to know course load.
It tells by title graduate diploma program.
Graduate.
So you cannot take a graduate diploma program if you don't have bachelor's degree. So it's a immigration pathway. It's a great program, and definitely serves you so well in your future immigration goals, if that's the goal. Also, you qualify for 1 year postgraduate work permit upon successful graduation. The workload, study load is not that heavy. You can work. Good news for incoming international students. Starting from September, from fall, you can work off campus 24 hours. So after your classes, which is great news. And also, please keep in mind to everyone, if you are planning to qualify postgraduate work permit, whether you are undergraduate student or graduate student, please make sure that you will study, you will be enrolled full-time continuously until you graduate successfully. So gaps in between or taking time off for work, it doesn't work. So you will violate immigration rules. Please keep in mind that Canadian immigration laws are very restrictive, and they are changing postgraduate work permit programs as well. Make sure that you are enrolled full-time and you study well, and then afterwards, whatever your immigration plans are, dreams are, that will come true.
Thank you. VIU folks, graduate PLE, do we know what specific graduate diploma or certification we're talking about for PLE? I have a question asking about intakes for graduate PLE, and
I don't know what's a
don't
PLE.
know that acronym. No.
I don't know either.
So
one thing we can tell them, everybody, about intakes is if you guys go to this website I'm posting right now, viu.ca/programs, and just look the specific program that you're looking for, each of those will have a section called start dates, intakes, and you can see there for every particular program when is the next intake. So, for example, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, just for example, the person was asking about special education. The next intake is September. So it's only 1 intake a year in September, which is common to many programs. But just visit that website, click on the program that you're looking for, scroll down until you see start date, deadlines, and additional application details, and you will see each program's intakes right there. Sometimes you will see a separate one for domestic, and a separate one for international. Obviously, just look at the international intake.
We're having someone share on the screen right now, which is really handy. Thank you for doing this. This is great. So
yeah, if you click off any of the programs there, you can see what I was telling you.
Once you click on a program that you're interested in, you're going to their calendar page, scrolling down to the bottom, and you'll see
deadlines and additional
program outlines shows program outlines shows what kind of courses you will have. If you're undergraduate program student, then list of the courses you have to select are also there. So.
Okay, thank you so much. That was great. So we did answer the question for Masters in Special Needs. The next intake option would be the following September. I am scrolling through, so I think, Abiola, I think we answered your question. I'm still working my way down here. Just wanting to know that going through SDS increases the visa chances. Are those two things connected?
Yes, it depends. Again, it depends on your finances. It depends on your background, your goals, if you prepared your documentation properly, all those things, all those aspects. But yes, it expedites and your chances will be higher.
Okay, thank you for that. We answered the next question. The graduate diploma in project management next intake would be September 2025. Somebody, Charlotte is asking, please elaborate more on the 26,000 Canadian dollar deposit. I think that was the GIC. Yeah, it was not a deposit.
No, it's not deposit. It's GIC. That's your living expenses. If you wanted to apply through expedited study permit processing option, which is SDS, so then you need to deposit that money to your own account. In Canada, in Canadian banks. And then it's called GIC, and then they will give you certificates saying that this person deposited this much money. And once you arrive to Canada, you will start taking that as a salary, living expenses for your own needs. So, but that certificate from Canadian bank expedites the process and proves that you have enough funding to support your studies in Canada.
Okay, thank you for that. I can see where that confusion happened. Somebody's asking, in case I get my visa decision after September, can I just change the course and enter instead of joining in September 2025? That's going to depend on your program. Probably not for a master's or graduate, I would assume, but that's definitely a case that you need to make an appointment with an advisor. So definitely reach out to us on Experience Hub for that one, because we'll have to do some digging there for you specifically. VIU has registered my courses, but time and dates don't suit me. If I check the automatic registration box, can I?
I already replied to that we need to know. Yeah, because for that one we need to know specifics about this student. So Sarah, please email us your specifics to advising@viu.ca, or even better, make an appointment to Experience Hub so we can chat about the particular courses that we're talking about.
Sounds good. And so Pat Tech has asking, just wanting to know about the SRS. We have answered that. They're having a network issue. So just to repeat for them, yes, going through SRS does expedite the process, correct? If you have any more questions, you can connect with MAC directly or immigration@VIU.
We probably have one more question and we had to finish. The last one, the Matthew one. You want to take it?
Oh, I'm okay. I don't know. My application is still in the biometric stage, and I haven't had any biometrics letter from the IRCC, and still waiting for the letter from IRCC. If you'd like to ask if it's still in range with the timeline.
This is case specific, so I would recommend student to send me email about, because it's just one aspect. I don't know the details. So therefore, I would recommend to send email to immigration@viu.ca.
Yeah, so Matthew and Charlotte and Tuchok Wu, we need you to send those questions in an email to, there we go, that's right on the screen, to immigration@viu.ca. They'll have some great answers for you. I'm just doing one last lap into the Q&A, and it is looking like there are specific questions from Vaishali and Kabir and Massimo, Satara, and that are going to need to be answered. If you haven't already gotten your answer, definitely reach out to us with the appropriate email. So Mac is your immigration advisor. Enrique and I and some others who aren't here today are your advising advisors. Michael Whitcomb gets the housing emails. So every one of those emails there is going to help you answer your questions. These are just getting really specific and less group oriented.
Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of the webinar. Thanks very much to each of the panelists, and thanks so much to all the new students who have joined us from around the world. I'll just say a quick note about orientation. So it's called Rock VIU, Welcome to Campus. Online sessions begin on Tuesday, August 27th. The first day to plan to be on campus in Nanaimo is the Wednesday, August 28th. And so that Wednesday to Thursday, the last week of August, there's a lot of activities planned. There's some general welcome to campus events and activities, and there's specific ones as well, depending on what kind of student you are. For example, there's a specific orientation for all academic international students, and there's another orientation for graduate students, international and domestic. So in the next week or so, you're going to receive an email from the communications team, and it's going to have the outline for that week, Rock VIU. So if you're still figuring out your dates to arrive here, it's really beneficial to be here in time for orientation. It helps you prepare for your studies. We find that if students miss orientation, they're kind of at a disadvantage. So it's really important to get information, get comfortable, connect with services, and also just to connect with other students. So hope to see folks at Rock VIU. And thanks again for joining us. And just reach out when you have questions.
I posted the
Thank
link
you.
to the YouTube channel where you can watch this video. Please give us a couple of days to trim it, and it will be available there. Don't forget, watch it again, share with your friends, and we'll see each other again maybe hopefully on the last Wednesday in July, July 31st. Thank you, everybody. It was great.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.